All right, guys, let's kick it off. Okay, I'll start recording, all right? Oh, actually, we are recording. All right, guys. Everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this project management in practice program. So it's going to be conducted in English language only. The reason for that is because it's public for the worldwide public, so everyone is free to join from the entire world. So we will conduct it in English language. So actually, I thought of making this practical program because a lot of people who joined our PMP training and even who haven't done that, they always, a lot of people struggle with applying what they have learned with us in project management, whether in the PMP training program or in any other programs. They have difficulties with applying what they have learned on their projects, like mainly, or on their work, daily work, because a lot of the techniques that we study in PMP, they're applicable on almost all parts and aspects of our work. So I thought of making this practical program in which we will be using tools. Okay, so we will be using tools, and we will be practicing that to help people who are enthusiastic about project management to know how to practice it, how to have hands-on managing projects. That will help them succeed in their career and also, bring their projects to success. All right. So this program is called Project Management in Practice. I will be leading this. It will be 8 online live sessions that will be held from today, 30th of September, until almost the end of October. 8 sessions, always at the same time at 8 p.m. GMT +1 Tunisia time. We tried, to find a middle slot because, I know it's a little late for people in Asia, especially in the Gulf region. But I also know that a lot of people in Europe, they finish late. Also the same for people who are interested to join from North America. So I really trying to find let's say the best slot possible. This program we will have, as I said, eight sessions. Now in session 1, in today's session, we will see how to prepare a project study or a business case, which is really important and is missing in a lot of projects, and a lot of projects fail because there was no study phase or no study prior to the project start. So we will look into some tools and some techniques that will help you. In session 2, we'll see how you can draft a project charter and what are the steps to kick off a project. In session 3, we will deal with one of the most important aspects of the project, which are stakeholders, how to identify them, how to prioritize them, how to use the stakeholder register, how to create an engagement plan, etc. In session 4, of course, we will deal with the scheduling. So we will work with the MS Project. We will use it as an example or as a tool. We will create a Gantt chart, and we will see different scheduling techniques, such as the setting up the relationships between the tasks, the activities, also building the critical path, etc. for waterfall schedules, and also we'll have a quick look on how to create a let's call a schedule in Agile, even though it's not really a schedule. In session 5, we will touch on a very, very important point, which is how to succeed in project meetings. Okay, how to prepare meeting minutes, how to manage meetings, what kind of meeting reports you can create, etc. On session 6, we will touch base on a very, very important topic, which is risks. Okay, risks are a very important part of our projects. Often they're overlooked, so we will look into risks. How to handle risks, how to create response plan, how to prioritize risks, how to evaluate risks, etc. On session 7, we will also talk about a very, very important topic, which is changes in the project. It's an important part of every project, whether it's waterfall, whether it's agile, it's hybrid, dealing with changes is often a headache for every project manager. So we will discuss on how to handle and manage both at the same time, handling and managing changes. And then in session 8, of course, we will see one of the most important tasks that a project manager can do in his or her project, which is reporting on the project performance. Okay, we will have a look on different performance evaluation techniques. So this is the program of this project management in practice. In today's session, in which we will look at how to prepare a project study phase. We will have a couple of slides in this presentation. Also, we will look into a very, very important template, which is the business case template, how to use it. And also we will have a look on how to use different tools, okay, in your project study phase. Right. So we are recording this session and we'll be sharing it later on our YouTube channel, so we can help everyone watch it in case they will need it later, or if they haven't managed to join this session. All right, good. So I hope you guys can see our screen. I hope you can hear us. And yeah, I hope everything is working fine. And now we will go with let's kick this session off. Each session will be of 1 hour and 1 hour and a half at max. All right. Okay. Now there is a slide which I really like so much from the PMP course. All right, which is, why do we have projects? Okay, to be honest, this slide is so important, and we apply it on our work. Making a business case is not always just about launching a new business. Now, that's how it sounds. When you are making your business case, it's as if you're launching a new business. It could be a new company, it could be retail business, it could be a shop, it could be anything. Actually, even within organizations, and this is what we have learned, in our PMP course, even within organizations, whenever we have a change, we're moving from a current state, whatever the state is, to a future state. That change, moving from one state to another, will have to go through a project. Okay, so now, even if it's an internal project, doesn't have to be commercial project, doesn't have to be a customer-oriented project, whatever kind of project, you have to make a study of the project. And in today's example, we will look at an internal project at a company, because projects do fail, yes, and a big part of the project's failure is due to the fact that there is no study phase behind, or before that, prior to launching a project, there was no study. Okay, so I must repeat and say that conducting a study phase is not related only to commercial projects, or launching a new business. Okay, even if we are having an internal project of, for example, installing printing machines in different floors in the company, that's a project, and we need to make a study prior to launching it, because there is the economic aspect of it, there is the technical feasibility aspect of it, there is the resource aspect of it, there is the risk aspect of it, the SWOT analysis of it. All of this must be done. All right. Okay. So now, we will be looking at the project life cycle during this practical program. But today we are here. It's before the project, the pre-project work. Okay. Do we have an idea, or do we have a problem? Is there a case that we need to study? Is there an issue that we need to look at, etc.? All right. So before launching any project, we need to make study. And I repeat, even if if it's about an internal project, we still need to look, we need to study this, okay? Make sure that we have all the data in place that will help us decide whether we want to go forward with the project or not, okay? All right. Now, in today's program, we will move on to the business case template, and we will have a look at an example, and we will see how to create a business case document and what are the steps and tools to use in this phase or pre-project phase. Okay, so we will be looking at how to make an executive summary, who should be creating the business case, how to define the problem, how to have different options, how to make sure that whatever we're working on or we're going to be work on, how it aligns with the company's strategy, how to make a cost benefit analysis, how can we make alternative analysis, and how can we get an approval. And today also we'll be looking at the famous tool which is called the decision matrix, so which will help in making decisions about the different alternatives and whether they're worth launching or starting or not, right? So now, the people who joined our PMP training, they do have access to this template. It's accessible online in their drive. This template is taken from the website of projectmanagementdocs.com, and I think it's fairly a good document. So I wanted us to use it. I haven't changed it much actually, because it does contain an example, and we'll be looking at it. All right. So this is now when we're talking about a change or launching, let's say, a new project, we have to conduct a study phase. Now, you as a project manager, maybe you could be involved in the study phase, or maybe there will be a team that will conduct this study phase, okay? And then once it's approved, the project idea is approved, then you can take it over as a project manager and then you can run with it. So this question repeats often, like, do I as a project manager, do I get involved in the study phase of the project or not? Now, it depends really on the organizational process assets, okay, the internal guidelines, and also it depends on the size of the company. Usually in small companies, the project manager does get involved in the study phase, but in bigger and larger companies, usually there is a team that will conduct the study. It could be a sales team, it could be a business development team, it could be a team from a specific area under the guideline of a certain manager or a head of a department or a division. And then when they finish their studies and they get the approvals, then they will hand over that approved business case to the project management department, so they can add that approved project to their pipeline and then kick it off when, depending on the urgency of the project or any other criteria. Okay. All right. So now, in the table of content of this business case document, and please pay attention, guys, because really we're going to talk about how to make a business case. Okay. And I repeat again and again, having the study phase is really, really important because it can save your project from the failure. Okay. Because in the study phase, you will touch on different areas that are really important for the decision makers to consider, because before they can approve a project. Okay, so at least this will help minimize the probability of any project failure. Okay, so okay, all right. So let's start. First of all, in your business case template or document, you will first of all have an executive summary. Now here with this italic light gray text here, it describes to you what you could put in this section. Of course, we will create, we will be using an example here from a web platform of the Smith Consulting Company. So in this section of executive summary, here you should provide general information of what's the issue or what's the idea. Why are we having this study phase? Is there a problem or is there an opportunity or maybe a proposed initiative that we need to address or we need to study? Okay, so this section is serves as an executive summary. So for example, if we will have we will take this example of the web platform for the Smith Consulting Company. We would say, for example, this business case outlines how the web platform project will address the current business concerns, the benefits that the project might have, and the recommendations or justifications for this project. Okay. All right. Also, here we discuss any detailed project goals, performance measurements, assumptions, constraints, and any alternatives, okay, that we'll be studying in this case. All right. Then, of course, here we will detail the issue. We need to discuss in detail what is the matter, what is the issue. And by the way, guys, it's not always about an issue. An issue is not always something negative. I mean, here we're talking about what's the matter that we're discussing here. Okay, so we should have a briefing regarding the current problem or the current opportunity. Okay, so keep in mind, guys, that we always conduct the study phase or the business case whether we do have a problem that we need to solve or there is an opportunity that we would like to exploit. Okay, so please keep on mind that we're addressing these both cases. All right. For example, let's take the example of the Smith Consulting Company. So because we have an expanding client base, our firm has moved to a decentralized business model over the last 2 years. So as we continue to support more clients in more locations, the administration of our workforce has become more difficult. Okay, I repeat, this is just an example. All right. So until now, many of our internal requirements, such as reporting, payroll, resource management, they have been done through the old mainframe system. As our workforce expands in numbers and areas, so this old system has become more and more inadequate to effectively manage these administrative activities. So this inadequacy is manifested in higher costs and increased employee turnover, which we have seen over the last 12 months. So in order to be more efficient and manage more efficiently our administration, reduce costs and improve employee turnover, so our company must move to a web-based application, which we'll call the web platform, as outlined in this business case. Okay, so by doing so, our employees will assume a greater role in managing their administrative issues, have access to timesheets securely online, and the company can manage its administration from one central and common platform. Okay, so now this is how we usually do it. Okay, so we address the issue here, we address the problem that we need to solve. Okay, because this business case will be presented to the to stakeholders. Okay, and the stakeholders will have to approve it. Now we need to outline the subject, the problem, the issue, or maybe the opportunity, so they can have an idea on the background. Why are we thinking of starting such a project? Okay, so this is so important to keep on mind, guys. All right. All right. What are the anticipated outcomes? Now, this section here should describe what are the expected or anticipated outcome. All right. If the proposed project or initiative is implemented. Okay. Also, we should include how the project will benefit the business, also how it will be aligned with the business strategy, and we need to describe here what the end state of the project should be. Okay, so for example, in this example that we're having, so moving to a centralized web-based or web platform will enable us to manage the employees' payroll systems and administrative function in a seamless and consolidated manner. This technology migration will reduce the overhead costs associated with a large workforce workforce currently required to manage these tasks. Okay, decentralized employees will have more autonomy to manage their payroll, elections, training, reporting, and other administrative tasks. The company will also benefit from more timely and accurate financial reporting as a result of our regional managers' ability to enter and continuously upgrade their financial metrics. Now, these here we're describing what are the potential or anticipated outcomes. Of course, if you want to we can add some figures, some numbers if you want to. Otherwise, you can leave it for later. Like, it's really, really important to highlight what will we benefit from this project, because this will help the decision makers decide whether to accept or to refuse this proposed project idea. Okay. Now here in the recommendation section, here we will summarize the approach on how the project will address the business problem, and also we will describe how the desirable results will be achieved by moving forward with this project. Okay, so for example, here we will be saying we have various options and alternatives. We have analyzed them in order to determine the best way to leverage technology in order to improve the business processes and reduce the overhead costs within our company. The approach described here allows us to meet our corporate objectives by continuously improving efficiency, reducing cost, capitalizing on technology. Okay, the recommended web platform project will methodically migrate the data and functions of our current mainframe systems to our new based platform, all right, in order to preserve data integrity and allow adequate time to train our employees and managers, do their responsibilities effectively, etc., etc. The web platform is compatible with our other current IT systems, and here with this sentence, we're sort of, touching some of the concerns of the stakeholders, and we're letting them know that we know if there might be any risks or any issues, any concerns, etc. Okay, so we're addressing that in advance so they know that this study actually is touching different aspects, not just the technical applicability of it or the financial side of it, but also other aspects such as any risks or concerns. Okay, and it will improve the efficiency and accuracy of reporting throughout the company. It's really important that you know in advance what might be the concerns of the stakeholders that will review this document. Okay, here we are even going further. Some of the ways that this technology will achieve is its desired results are: employees will be able to enter and edit their timesheet data at any time from any location instead of phoning their data to their regional manager for entry into the mainframe system. Timesheet payroll data will immediately be accessible for quality control and reporting purposes, and this will reduce the need for staff non-billable positions to gather, analyze, and compile, and employees will have the ability to register for training, which will reduce the burden on managers and training staff. So you see, here we're still, explaining and eliciting what are the anticipated outcomes and recommendations. Now, really, this is really, really important to have in your business case. And I repeat, guys, look, I repeat. Now, I do understand that a lot of companies and project managers, they do create a study document when we're talking about large and big projects, but they, don't feel the need sometimes to do so on smaller projects, which is not totally right. Even the smallest project, we need to have a study phase, a business case, to address it. All right. Okay, now justification here. So in this section, we will justify why the recommended project should be implemented, why it was selected over other alternatives, and if applicable, we will have some quantitative support, and which we will see with different tools that we'll be using here. And remember, guys, I will be leaving these tools, the decision matrix, the NPV as an example, the PESTELs template, the SWOT template. I will be leaving all this for you when as links when we will publish the video on our YouTube channel, so you can also download them and you will be able to use them. All right. So here we will be given this justification. For example, we write here the migration of payroll and other administrative functions from the legacy or the old mainframe system to the web platform will result in greater efficiency with regards to company resources and business processes. So the web platform project is also aligned with corporate strategy and objectives, since it uses technology to improve the way we do business. While other alternatives on the status quo were analyzed, the web platform project was selected for proposal in this business case because it provides the best opportunity to realize benefits in an expedited manner, while also allowing for the greatest improvement, efficiency, and cost reduction. Other alternatives assumed greater risk, provide less benefits, were too difficult to define, or were not suitably aligned with current corporate strategy or objectives. Now, we can provide some initial estimates because stakeholders love data, stakeholders love numbers, they love to see numbers. And by the way, and this document, this business case document, you can use a Word template, or also you can have it in PowerPoint, and there you are free to use charts, graphs, etc., because maybe they're easier to use or easier to convince the stakeholders. All right. For example, here we list 15% reduction of overhead costs in the first 12 months. That's what we're expecting. 10% decrease in employee turnover in the first 12 months. 50% immediate decrease in time to generate the weekly and monthly financial reports. 25% immediate decrease in the amount of time it takes to resolve payroll issues. By the way, guys, stakeholders, they really love this term, immediate. They love to see numbers, percentage, and the term or the word immediate, because that would convince them. But be ready, because stakeholders might question you, might ask you, how did you calculate this? Where did you come up with these numbers from? So you have to be ready to answer these questions, to justify these numbers. Okay, so it's really, really important, guys, that you be prepared when you're meeting with the stakeholders, because when you're conducting this study for the project, and you see here we took an internal project example as an example on purpose to let you know that business case study phase is not just for commercial or business projects. It's also for internal projects, because this way you are making the stakeholders assume responsibility, because once they approve the business case, it means they are aware, they understand this idea or this project idea, they know the alternatives, they know the associated risks with it, etc., etc. So actually, if something goes wrong with a project, you can always refer back to this business case, and you always have grounds or arguments for discussion. All right. Now, the business case analysis team. Here we describe the role of the team members who will help with developing this business case. It's really imperative that the participants and roles, they're clearly defined in this business case document, and also throughout the project life cycle. All right, because when we state who worked on this business case, we will know then if specialized people have developed each part or each section of this business case, or who did it, right? So here, for example, we say the following individuals comprise the business case analysis team. They're responsible for the analysis and creation of the web platform project business case. So we have executive sponsor Mr. John supporting the project, technology support Jane Smith, providing technology support for the project, process improvement. The project manager, of course, Steve Smith. Here we state in the project manager, and by the way, the project manager could be just for the study phase, because the study phase itself can be accepted or considered as a separate project, or maybe Steve himself will be later on assigned as the project manager for the implementation of this web platform in case it gets approved. All right, and here also we can have software support. By the way, guys, this is just an example. So you can change the team, you can change the roles, you can change the sections. We're just giving you some hints, some sort of indication on how to create a project business case. A study phase doesn't, you don't need to stick to it. You don't need to just use these sections or maybe these roles. You can change the roles. You can have here, for example, product specialized people, all right, technology people, all right, you can have commercial people, you can have marketing people. So whoever is in position of supporting this study phase, this business case, is welcome to join the team. Just remember, when we did it in real life and our real projects, we always had specialized people and also people who had the authority to use the company resources in order to make their researches or to work on this business case. All right, now we go into the problem definition, because here in this example we have a problem inside the company. We're trying to resolve it. So now section 3 in the business case is the problem definition. So first of all, we will start with the problem statement. So in this section, we will describe the business problem for which the project was created to address. And as I said, the problem can be process, technology, product, or service oriented. So, for example, here, since the beginning, our company has relied on mainstream systems, which probably have become obsolete or old due to the increased number of employees. So there was created a lot of burden upon the headquarters, and they're struggling to effectively manage the company's administration. And the last 2 years, our company has hired 5 employees into overhead positions to help manage and run the day-to-day administrative operations. And these positions provided little or probably no return on investment. You can see here how we are also touching on this aspect. As they're not billable positions and only maintain the status quo, so they do nothing to improve the management of the company's administration. Additionally, employees must currently call their regional managers to enter their work hours and raise any concerns regarding payroll and any other administrative tasks. So this places a large burden on managers who match balance these requirements with their day-to-day billable tasks. And also reporting is another problem with the legacy of the old systems. And all the weekly and monthly financial reports now must be generated manually, which allows for a high probability of errors and requires significant amount of times. So, and these manual tasks further add to the burden and expense of the company. So here we're having a detailed description. Now, how long should the description be? Now it's really up to you. Okay, the description could be a half page, 1 page, 2 pages. I mean, you really have to be thorough. You have to describe the problem in details. Probably you can bring some facts or some events that took place in the company, and some situations that were critical enough or disturbing enough to lead to thinking of creating such a new project, because this new project will cost the company resources, money, time, etc. So okay, so here, because we're having just an example, so we had to be brief. But in your real case in your real business case template, you really have to be thorough. You have to go in details, and as I said, use facts. All right. Now, what would be the impact on the organization if we implement such a project? And this is one of the key things that stakeholders will be looking at. They need to understand the impact. And here, guys, remember, the impact is actually both ways. The impact, if we will implement the project, and the impact if we will not implement or if we will not approve the project, because both they will have an impact. All right. So this section describes how the proposed project will modify or affect the organizational processes, tools, hardware, or software, and it should explain any new roles which will be created and or how the existing roles may be impacted as a result of the project. Okay, so the web platform project, for example, will impact our company in several ways. The following provides a high-level explanation on how the organization, tools, process, and roles and responsibilities will be affected as a result of the project. So, for example, in regards to the tools, okay, so I'll just underline it. In regards to the tools, so the existing system will be phased out completely as the new system is stood up and becomes operational, and this will require training for the employees on how to use the new system and how to get support. All right. And then, of course, how this will impact, for example, the processes when the new platform comes more efficient and streamlined. So with the administrative and payroll processes, this improved efficiency will lessen the burden on managers and provide autonomy to employees in managing their administrative and payroll tasks and actions. Then how this will impact the roles and responsibilities. Okay, remember guys, this is an example of an internal project about implementing a new platform or a new working system. You can change or you can define different impacts depending on the project or the idea that you're studying. So for example, regarding the roles and the responsibilities, so in addition to the web platform project, allowing greater autonomy to employees and less burden to managers, the manpower required to appropriately staff human resources and payroll departments will be reduced. So here we will have a reduction in the human resources. While we greatly value our employees, the reduction of non-billable overhead positions will directly reflect in our bottom line and provide an immediate return on our investment. The new platform will be managed by the IT group, and we do not anticipate any changes to IT staff and requirements. Here also you can go more further in details. You can list clearly which roles will be eliminated and which new roles will be created, and the more detailed you are, the less ambiguity you will have, and this will lead to greater interaction from the stakeholders, even better understanding. Okay, and it will make it much easier for you when you're in discussion with the stakeholders. Also, you can touch on the hardware or software that will be impacted by this change. So in addition to the software and licensing for the project, our company will be required to purchase additional servers to accommodate the platform and its anticipated growth for the next 10 years. And here you can explain what type of servers, how much they might cost, or you can list this later on, in the financial section. All right. Now, of course, because of this specific project, here we had to add this section of technology migration, since we're talking about technology project. But for you, as I said, depending on the idea of the project you're studying, you can really change this. So, and this section provides a high-level overview on how the new technology will be implemented. Again, as I said, this is really this section is specific to this project, and you can replace it by any other content that is relevant to your project idea. All right. So for example, for this project, you can say here, in order to effectively migrate existing data from our legacy platform to the new web-based platform, a phased approach has been developed, which will result in minimal or no disruption to day-to-day operations, administration, payroll activities. And the following is a high-level overview of the phased approach. And here we are listing the phases that we will go through. So phase one is the purchase of the hardware software for the new system. Phase two, of course, the IT group will stand up a temporary legacy platform in the technology lab in order to be used for the day-to-day operations for payroll administration as a backup system. Phase three, of course, the web-based platform will be populated with the data Phase 4, of course, employees then will receive the training on the new platform, and phase 5, the new platform will go live, and the old system will be decommissioned or taken down, right? Then we move on to section 4. We will be having a project overview. Here we will have a high level information about the project, such as the description, the goals, etc. Here you will really go through the project description. So what is this project about? Yeah, so the web platform project will review, analyze several potential products. This will be done by determining and selecting products which adequately replaces our existing systems. And here we can go on, and because this is a technology project, and even if it's not, then one of the most efficient tools to use is the SWOT tool, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Here we will be looking at what are our internal strengths or internal positive factors, our strengths that make us think that we really can take up this project. So here we can, for example, answer questions such as what makes us stand out, or what are we good at, what are we more efficient at, what can we do for less money, or what can we do in less time, etc. So when we will be answering such questions, and these questions are just examples, we will then come to identify our internal strengths, okay, that make us think that we can do it, we have the skills for it, we have the power, we have the resources. Usually the internal strengths are about the resources, the skills, the knowledge, okay, the probably the history, etc. Okay. Then also we can be looking at our internal weaknesses. All right, so these are our strengths, these are our weaknesses, such as, for example, where do we lack efficiency, or where are we wasting money, where are we wasting time and resources. For example, what do our competitors do better, in case we're talking about a commercial project, or we're doing some benchmarking here, or what our top customer complaints. Here, usually in weaknesses, we will be looking at our weak spots, okay? Which knowledge are we lacking? Which skills are we lacking? Which problems did we have in the past that are still impacting us? Maybe if we have financial problems, or we have problems with our processes because they're lengthy, and we will need a lot of time to get all the approvals in place, etc. So we really need to list all our known strengths and weaknesses related to this idea. Okay, we have to be clear about the strengths and weaknesses that will impact, whether positively or negatively, our idea or our project idea. Okay, so this is in regards to our internal strengths and weaknesses. At the same time, this SWOT analysis, okay, we will be addressing the external factors, okay, the external positive factors, which are called opportunities, and the external negative factors, which are called the threats. Okay, now opportunities and threats, they haven't happened yet, but those are factors that we need to look at and consider and list them. It's really, really important to list them. And once you're done creating your SWOT, also you will copy it and paste it in that business case document. So then you can share it with the stakeholders, so they can have the full picture, and they can help you, or they can take the right decisions. For example, what is missing in our market? What could we create or do better than our competitors? What new trends are occurring that we need to be aware of? what new technology could we use that could help us or boost our business, what openings in the market are there in case of a business or commercial project, etc. Okay, so here we're talking about external opportunities. External threats, these are negative factors that could negatively impact our project if it gets approved, such as, for example, what changes are occurring in our market's environment that could impact our project idea, what technologies could replace what we currently use, what changes are occurring in the way we're being discovered, what social changes could threaten us, are there any threatening government policies or regulations? Okay, so now here we're addressing any limitations or any possible threats to our project ideas. Usually when we're talking about a new project, and of course, we're not dependent. We're not independent, actually. We're not independent, or we're not in isolation from our surrounding environment. This is sometimes we recommend that also we conduct an analysis on our environment or the environment that surrounds us. And there is a tool called PESTEL, and this tool helps you conduct analysis on the political environment of the country or the city where the project will be located. Also the economic situation of the place where the project will be conducted, the social study, also the technological aspects that could impact your project, and you need to pay attention to the ecological also or the environmental project that you need also to address, the legal and the legal matters that also you need to address that could impact your project. And here, you can touch any areas. For example, the political part of it, you can, for example, address government stability, the laws, etc. In economics, if there is, a favored economic situation, the economic growth and employment rates, etc. On the social, if there is social stability, consumer behavior, technological, for example, you can touch on availability of, technological infrastructure, internet, access to internet, payment systems, ease of integration with third parties, any regulations, or technological regulations. On the ecological, especially if your project might cause some pollution to the environment. So if there are any ecological regulations or environmental regulations that you need to pay attention to in case you will have waste out of this project. And also any legal matters such as, for example, labor laws, etc. Okay, so here you need to have really a thorough analysis of your environment, because your project is not standalone, is not in isolation from what's happening around it. So we really need to make sure that you understand your environment and you share these analysis and qualitative analysis with your stakeholders, so they can better understand also all the situations surrounding this project. Okay, all right. Okay, as we said, we're having a project description here. Goals and objectives of the project. You can state here what are the goals and objectives, and be careful, guys. Always in goals and objectives, try to be as specific as possible. Try to use smart objectives. This will help you, convince your stakeholders. So, for example, here we will say the web platform project will directly support several of the corporate goals and objectives, because it's very important that you prove to your stakeholders that you're aware of the strategic objectives of the company, and actually you're working on building something that will contribute to the achievement of these strategic goals. So here in the following table, we're listing the business goals and objectives that the web platform project supports and how it supports them. Timely and accurate reporting. This is one of the business goals and objectives. Here, the web-based tool will allow for real-time and accurate reporting of all payroll and administrative metrics, improving staff efficiency. Fewer human resource and payroll staff required for managing these activities will improve the efficiency, reducing employee turnover. So greater autonomy and flexibility will address employee concerns and allow managers to focus on billable tasks, reduce overhead costs. And here, of course, we recommend that you use numbers because this will convince the stakeholder better and easier. So fewer staff required will reduce the company's overhead. Then here you can touch on project performance. Here we'll describe the measures that will be used to gauge the project's performance and outcomes as they relate to key resources, processes, or services. And in the following table, we will list here the key resources, processes, or services, and their anticipated outcomes in measuring the performance of the project. For example, in reporting, we will, here the performance measure. The web-based system will reduce reporting discrepancies, duplicates, and gaps, and require reconciliation every 6 months instead of monthly. Regarding timesheets and administrative data entry, here we will eliminate, for example, the manager's non-billable work. And here you can state between brackets how much is it now and how much it will be in the future by allowing employees to enter their data correctly. Software and system maintenance, for example, here we will have a decrease in cost, and you can again list how much it will be, and staff requirements as system maintenance will be reduced from once every month to every 6 months, and staff resources, here we'll be eliminating 5 staff positions in the human resource department and payroll, which are no longer required. Okay. Also, it's very, very important that you describe the assumptions on which this project or these ideas are based. Here, we will list the preliminary assumptions for the proposed project. As the project is selected and moves into detailed project planning, here we will list here the assumptions that will most likely grow as the project plan is developed. So here, for example, we'll be saying the following assumptions apply to the web platform project. As project planning begins and more assumptions are identified, they will be added accordingly. So here are assumptions. So we assume that all staff and employees will be trained accordingly in their respective data entry, timesheet, and reporting tasks on the new web-based system. We assume that there will be funding available for the training. Okay. We assume that also funding will be available for purchasing any software and hardware for the new system. We assume that all the department heads will provide necessary support for the successful rollout of the project, and the project will have executive level support and backing. Now, it's really important that you list these assumptions because you sort of telling your stakeholders, now I need this, okay, I need all these. So these are assumptions, but those are assumptions in form of a condition that will need to be met in order to achieve project success. Okay. And also an important section here, which is the project constraints. Okay. What are the project constraints? Here we will be listing the preliminary constraints for the proposed project. As the project is selected and moves to the detailed planning phase, here we're listing the constraints. So for example, the following constraints apply to the web platform project. As project planning begins and more constraints are identified, they will be added accordingly. For example, there are limited IT resources available to support the web platform project and other ongoing IT initiatives. There are a limited number of commercial the shelf products to support both payroll and administrative activities. And as implementation will be done internally and not by the product developers or vendors, there will be limited support from the hardware software providers. Now, of course, you can go on and list more constraints or more assumptions. You have to be as specific. Remember, guys, you have to be as specific as possible, right? In section 4.6, we will be listing the major project milestones and their target completion dates. Okay, here we'll be putting what you think are the main project milestones, and when do you expect them to be achieved, such as, for example, creating the project charter, which we will be doing in the next session, the project plan review and completion, when will it be done, project kickoff, of course, the different project phases, which we have listed earlier, in this document: phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, phase five. Of course, you can replace phase one by the actual phase name. Okay, this is just an example, as I said, guys. The closeout and project completion, when will it be? All right. Of course, this is very important, the milestone schedule, because it will help the stakeholders have a better idea how long will it take to complete this project. Okay. Now, one of my favorite sections is the strategic alignment. All right. How will this project support the organization's strategy and strategic plan in order to add value and maintain executive and organizational support? Now, remember, guys, even if you get the approval from the stakeholders, doesn't mean that now your project will be a success. Okay, you need to make sure that you continue having this support throughout your project. Okay, so here, for example, we'll be writing the web platform project is in direct support of several of the company's strategic plans. By directly supporting these strategic plans, this project will improve our business and help move the company forward to the next level of maturity. And here you'll be giving a little details. I mean, in this example, we're having little details. You should be, explaining really how this project will be aligned with the company strategies. For example, the company strategic plan for information management. The goal is to improve record keeping and information management. And how is this related to the project? So because our company, one of our company's main goals and objectives, I mean, like strategic goals and objectives, is to improve the record keeping and information management. So this project, how is this project is related to this goal and objective? This project will allow for real-time information data entry, increased information accuracy, and a consolidated repository for all payroll and administrative area. All right, now guys, this section shows that you as a project team preparing this study phase or this business case document, or you as a project manager, actually you are aware of the company's goals, objectives, and strategies, and you know how this project will contribute to achieving this strategy or these goals and objectives. Okay, which is really, really good. Okay, that's why I said that this section is one of my favorites. It's really important. Another plan here of the company, our company plan for information management. One of the goals and objectives of the company, like strategic goal or objective, is to utilize new technology to support the company and department missions more effectively. Now, our project, okay, how will it contribute to achieving this company's goal or objective? This new technology that we'll be using in this project, it will allow many payroll and administrative functions to be automated, and reducing the level of staff required to manage these systems. Now here we'll explain, of course, we can add more details, but here we'll explain how this project will contribute to achieving this company's objective. Okay, also our company, in regards to its plan to human capital, one of the our company's goals in this matter is to engage the workforce and improve employee retention. And in this matter, our project will allow the employee to take an active role in managing their payroll and administrative elections. Now we can see here how we listed for each of the company's strategic goals and objectives, how this project, that once it's approved, it will contribute to achieving these objectives. Guys, this is really important. Whether it's an internal project or it's a business-oriented project, customer-oriented project, if it's a commercial project, you have really to explain and show that you understand, on one hand, the company's strategic goals and objectives, and on the other hand, how your project, once it's approved, how will it contribute to achieving these goals or objectives? Now, you might think that the financial section is the most important one. And actually, guys, I'll tell you a secret. When I started conducting the business case training and workshops more than a decade ago, wherever I went, in different locations, different companies, different countries, always the most important section for the companies was the financial section. How much will it cost us? How much financial benefit will it bring us? Etc. And I always kept telling them, guys, that's not the most important section. Yeah, for a lot of companies it is, but actually there are other equally important sections, such as the risk analysis, such as, for example, the constraints, the strategic alignment, etc. Okay, because what would you do with a project that is very, or that might be very financially beneficial for the company, but on the other side, it is also jeopardized by high level risks, for example. All right. And this happened to one of the projects in a previous company I was working at, where they ought to start a project or launch a project in a location that was very politically unstable, even though the project was, presumed to be financially very lucrative. Okay, but unfortunately, there was a coup in that country, and we lost everything. And because we did not, have a thorough risk analysis or risk study. All right. So yeah, cost benefit analysis is very important. And as is written here, many consider this is one of the most important parts of the business case, as it is often the cost or saving the project yields, which can impact the final decision. It is important to quantify the financial benefits of the project as much as possible in this business case. One of the tools that we'll be looking at today is the net present value. Here we're having an example of an investment or a project over 10 years. And of course, we're having a discount rate, and, changing the discount rate. Sorry, yeah. Let me just changing the discount rate can actually impact, because this is a tool that you can start using immediately. So here, what is the projected net annual cash flow that you're expecting to make out of this project? We took an example here, 6% as a discount rate, and how much is this net discounted cash flows for this project. And the net present value will help you determine if this project is worth launching or not. Now, you can use different tools. We just discussed the net present value, which is calculating the value of all the future incomes. How would they worth right now? Okay, how would be what is the value of a 45 million euros or dollars in the future right now if we take a discount rate of 6%? So this tool helps you calculate it automatically. You don't need to bother to calculate it yourself. You can play with this tool however you want, but calculating the net present value along with other financial tools such as the return on investment, the ROI, or the internal rate of return, or any other tools will help the stakeholders decide whether this investment is really worth it or not. Okay, so we'll be leaving this tool for you to use. It's really pretty easy to use, and it's one of the ways. If we go back to our document, of course, here we'll be listing the cost and savings associated with this project. We have here descriptions of these sections, the costs and savings throughout the first year, and at the bottom of the chart is the net saving for the first year of the project. So, for example, here we have the purchase of the web-based product and license. This is a cost. Is the initial investment, and it will cost for the first year around 400,000. Software installation and training. This is a cost. It will cost the IT group for the installation of the new software and training all the employees that will cost around 100,000. However, reducing the HR and payroll staff by 5 employees, this is considered as a saving, and this will result in an immediate reduction in overhead equal to the annual salary of 3 HR specialists and 2 payroll analysts, and this will save us $183,495. Managers no longer required to work non-billable payroll and administrative tasks. This is a saving. So here, for example, 18 regional managers currently work every 16 hours per week as non-billable time. So it is anticipated that this number will be reduced to no more than 2 hours per week, and as an average of $36 per hour. This will result in almost $9,073 increased revenue per week, and over the year it will be $471,744. System maintenance required every 6 months instead of monthly. That's really great saving. So less frequent use of IT resources working on non-value added tasks will result in approximately 42,000 saving per year. And of course, we will have another saving here, which is reducing the employee turnover by 10%. And this will have savings in cost to our existing employees and recruits, hires and training new employees, approximately 50,000 the first year. So summing all this up will give us a net cost or anticipated cost of $247,239. Of course, these we will invest 500,000, but also we will be saving around 250,000. So actually, based on the cost benefit analysis above, we see that authorizing the new web platform project, our company will save 247,000 the first year alone. And this represents a significant improvement in our operating costs, and is a clear indicator of the benefit that this project will have on the company. So we'll be investing 500,000, but at the same time we'll be saving 183,000 plus 471,000 plus 42 plus 50,000. So actually we will invest 500,000, but we will save at the end 247,000. Okay. Which is, I think, a great argument, to use with the stakeholders. Here in section 7, you might be listing different alternatives. So alternative projects, and then of course you have clearly listed your recommended option. However, we will see in the decision matrix how the decision matrix works for different alternatives. Here, the following alternative options have been considered to address the business problem. They were not selected for a number of reasons. For example, keep the mainframe legacy system in place. This is one of the options, not to decommission the old system. And the reason for not selecting this alternative is because, for example, unnecessary expenditure for funds for increased staffing level, continued occurrence of a high number of data errors, poor and untimely reporting, and lack of automation. Another alternative is to outsource the implementation of the web-based platform. However, the reasons for not selecting this alternative is the significantly increase in cost, expertise already exists in-house, and the vendor's lack of familiarity with our internal requirements. And another alternative that we looked at is to develop our software internally. However, we have dismissed this alternative because of the lack of qualified resources, significant cost associated with software design, and time frame required is too long. Okay, so here you're proving that you have looked at other alternatives, but you have dismissed them because of the various reasons that you have listed here. This is really good, guys. It will help you. I recommend that you train on this in your next project, because it will really help you with your next project. And then finally, in the but however, before we go to the approval section, I'd like to go back, to our presentation. And one of the last things we will see here, just I'll move on, is the risk analysis. Okay, it's really important that you make your risk analysis as part of your business case document. Here you would be listing, for example, the major risks, the probability and impact rating for each risk. We will be looking at this in detail in I think section 6. In session 6, sorry, in session 6. And then what will be the response strategy? It's really important that you show your stakeholders that you have analyzed the project risks, potential risks that are associated with this project or with this project idea. You could probably can do this for alternative number 1. You can do it also for alternative number 2, number 3, etc. Okay, in case you have decided to study different alternatives, but it's really important that you show that you have also studied the different project risks. Also, you might consider. Let me go here. You might try to explain what would be the value proposition that you might be offering in case we're talking about a customer profile. What are the gains that the customer will get from this project, or the pain relievers that you're giving them in case this is a commercial project. This is what we've touched this on this, the PESTEL as well. And also you might also consider creating the business model for your project, especially if it's a business or a commercial project. A business model Canva is an example here. What will be the value proposition you'll give it to your customers? What kind of relationships you will be having? What kind of contracts, distribution channels, which customer sections you'll be focusing on, the key activities and the key resources for this new, let's say, business project, key partners you'll be relying on and working with, then your cost structure and your revenue streams. Again, this you'll be using in case of a commercial project, which is not the case for us in this internal example that we used. Now, at the end of this business document section, of course, you'll be adding here the approval section. You'll be, adding here who will be approving this document. However, usually in the companies, before they approve any new project idea, they might use a murder board or a decision-making board that will be deciding on the project idea or the business case, or they might opt for a more automated tool such as the decision matrix. And the decision matrix is usually prepared by the stakeholders themselves. They will be deciding which criteria they will be selecting for evaluation between the different options, because here we're evaluating between idea 1, idea 2, for example, or option 1, option 2. They will be given a rating for each criteria. For example, the competency. I mean, if we have the skills, if we are competent for such an idea, so they give it a weight or a rating, for example, of 3. The cost, we will be explaining this in a moment. For example, it's got the weight of 4. How long will this idea live? Viability, for example, it's got a rating of 5. SWOT, for example, rating of 4. Risks, rating of 3. And then we will be explaining to you how would you be able to use such a decision matrix. For example, now the stakeholders, they decided to use cost as one of the evaluation criterias. And here, for example, they will be put in a scale. If this, for example, this is just an example, okay? If this idea will cost less than 30,000, then it will get 5 as a score. If it will cost between 30,000 and 60,000, it will get 3. And if it will cost more than 60,000, get 1. It will get 1. Now, and then here, for example, for idea 1, we for example, we say idea 1, actually it will cost 50,000. Okay. Now, idea 1 will cost 50,000. That's between 30,000 and 60,000. So it gets 3. 3 times 4, the rating, that's 12. Okay. For example, for competency, we will say if we've got between 1 to 2 of the main skills required to implement this idea, then we get a score of 1. If we will have between 3 to 4, skills, we will get 3. And if we will have more than 5 skills for implementing the option, then we get a score of 5. Okay, so for idea A, for example, we have 3 of the required skills. Then we get score of 3. 3 times 3, the rating, that's 9. For example, here, viability, if we take viability as another example, and these criteria are just examples. For example, we say if the idea will live for more than 5 years, then it gets a score of 5. If it will live, I mean, once it's implemented, it will live between 2 to 4 years, it gets a score of 3. If it will live for less than 2 years, then it will get score of 1. For example, idea 1, it will live for 3 years. 3 years, that between 2 and 4, then gets 3. 3 times 5. 5 is the rating or the weight. Then it gets 15, etc., etc. Okay, these just decision matrix. We create the decision matrix in order to reduce human intervention as much as possible. Okay, so what you put here, you're supposed to put just 3. For example, here you're supposed to put 50, and the software should be automatically assessing this. If you put 50K, then immediately it gives you the score of 3. 3 times 4, that's 12. Okay, so once you use or if you use an automated decision matrix system, it will reduce the intervention for humans and any biased opinions. And then once you've put the scores of all your different options or alternatives, then at the end here you should have the total scoring of each idea. For example, idea 1 has got a score of 79. Idea 2 has got a score of 51. Of course, the idea with the higher score, it goes in case you'll be comparing between ideas. Now, this decision matrix is used in the large companies. Of course, they have their own systems. In smaller companies, we recommend that such a decision matrix is created because it can really, really help, in making autonomous decisions in regards to which option or which alternative to use. Now, what we've seen in this session, we've seen a definition of the business case. We've seen the business case document. We will be leaving this document for you guys in the comments, in the description section tomorrow on our channel on YouTube, along with the video. And also we will be leaving for you these tools. Okay. And as a summary of this session, remember, guys, don't start projects out of the blue. We really recommend that you have study phases, a study phase before each project in order to address all the different aspects, such as the environment through the PESTEL analysis, the internal and external factors through the SWOT, the financial aspect of it through the cost benefit analysis or through the NPV, etc. Also the risk, the constraints, the assumptions, etc. All of these are really important because then once they're elaborated, all of them, you put the stakeholders in the decision making position, and they are part, or they take responsibility with you as a project team or as a team who elaborated this business case, and the stakeholders are then responsible with you or accountable, and actually is responsible with you when it comes to whether why would this project, in case this project fails. Okay, so we do hope that you have benefited from the content of this first session. Just as a reminder for you, we will be having a session, another weekly sessions every Monday, and the next session number 2 will be on how to draft a project charter and how to kick off a project. Is going to be a very interesting session, so stay tuned, guys, and thank you for watching. Thank you for joining today, and see you next week. All right, thank you so much, everyone, and have a great rest of the evening.